This story is very meaningful. Everyone should hear it. Listen to Brian tell the story. My name's Carrie Evans, and I'm 32 years old. I've lived most of my life in a quiet little town just outside Atlanta, Georgia, where the biggest drama used to be who won the Friday night bingo at the community center. I work as an accountant, crunching numbers day in and day out, and I've always prided myself on being steady, reliable even. I've been with Todd for 10 years, married for 6, and I thought I knew him inside and out. He's a construction engineer, a big guy with a loud laugh and a charm that used to make my heart skip. But the last few years, that Todd, the one I fell for, started slipping away, replaced by someone distant, someone who'd rather scroll through OnlyFans than look at me. I kept telling myself it was fine, that marriages have rough patches, but deep down, I was lonely. And yesterday, that loneliness exploded into something I never saw coming. Rewind to the night before. We're sitting in our living room with our friends, Mark and Carol, a couple we've known since our early 20s. The conversation's light, bouncing from work gripes to the roadworks clogging up the highway into town. Carol giggles, her cheeks flushed from the wine, and leans into Mark. "We've found a way to make the commute fun, haven't we?" she says, nudging him. Mark grins, a little sheepish, and Carol spills the story. How they've been flashing the road crews along the 3-mile stretch of construction, turning a boring drive into their own private game. The workers cheer, they laugh, and suddenly the traffic doesn't feel so bad. I blink at them, stunned. Carol's the type to organize bake sales, not flash strangers. But Todd's eyes light up, like a kid who just found a new toy. "That's badass," he says, leaning forward. "We should totally do that, Carrie." His voice has an edge of excitement I haven't heard in months, maybe years. I laugh, thinking he's joking, but he locks eyes with me, serious. "Wait, you're for real?" I ask, my stomach flipping. Todd's always been jealous. Hell, he flipped out when I posted a bikini pic from our beach trip last summer, calling it attention-seeking. Now he wants me to flash random guys? He nods, grinning. "Yeah, it'll spice things up. Come on, babe, don't be a prude." His words sting, but there's a spark in him I haven't seen in so long, and I'm desperate to hold on to it. We haven't had sex in months, and I miss him, miss us, so I shrug, playing it cool. "Okay, if you're sure," I say, half laughing. That night he pulls me into bed, his hands eager, his breath hot against my neck. It's the first time he's initiated in forever, and I let myself believe this could fix us. I fall asleep with a flicker of hope, tangled in his arms. Morning comes too fast. Todd's up before me, practically bouncing as he grabs his keys. "Let's do it now, on the way to work," he says, tugging me toward the door. I'm still in my pajama shorts and a vest top, my hair a mess, but he's insistent. "Now? I'm not even dressed," I start, but he cuts me off. "You're perfect. Come on, it'll be quick." His excitement is infectious, and against my better judgment, I follow him to the car. My phone's in my pocket, but I don't grab shoes or a jacket. Todd's rushing me out like we're late for something big. We hit the road, the construction zone stretching out ahead. Orange cones and dusty trucks line the highway, workers in neon vests scattered in clumps. Todd's practically vibrating beside me, his hands tight on the wheel. "Ready?" he says, glancing at me. My heart's racing, a mix of nerves and adrenaline. I nod, unsure but caught up in his energy. We approach the first group of workers, and Todd beeps the horn, loud and sharp. "Now!" he yells. I lift my top, quick and awkward, the cool air hitting my skin. The workers, Rusty, Jade, and a few others, turn and cheer, a rowdy burst of whoops and whistles. I laugh, a nervous, shaky sound, and drop my top back down. Todd's grinning, until he isn't. His face darkens, jaw clenching, and he slams on the brakes so hard I lurch forward, my seatbelt digging into my chest. "Get out!" he snaps, his voice low and venomous. I freeze, confused. "What? Todd, what's wrong?" "Get out, you slag!" he roars, his face flushed with fury. My stomach drops. He leans over me, yanking the door handle open, his hands rough as he unbuckles my seatbelt. Cars behind us honk, impatient, but he doesn't care. He shoves me hard, and I stumble, half falling out of the car. My hands hit the ground, scraping raw, and I cry out, tears blurring my vision. "Todd, stop!" I scream, but he's beyond hearing me. He pushes again, and I tumble fully onto the road, my knees banging against the pavement. I hear Rusty shouting, "Hey, asshole, what's your problem?" And Jade's voice, sharp and angry, "You're done, buddy." Todd doesn't look back. He slams the door and speeds off, tires squealing, leaving me in the dust. Rusty and Jade reach me as I sit there, dazed and sobbing. Rusty's jacket smells faintly of sweat and tobacco, a grounding scent that pulls me back from the edge of panic. Jade's hand on my arm is firm, steadying me as I stand. "Come on, let's get you inside," she says, her tone softer now. They guide me to the cabin, a cramped space with a folding table, a coffee pot, and a battered old heater. Rusty pours me a cup of tea from a thermos, the steam rising in faint curls. "Thanks," I mumble, wrapping my hands around the mug. My mind's spinning. Todd's rage, the workers' cheers, the sheer absurdity of it all. I can't believe he did that. I only did it because he asked. "Sounds like a real prince," Jade says dryly, leaning against the wall. Rusty chuckles, but his eyes are serious. "Look, we've had folks flash us before. Drunk teens, bored housewives, you name it. But I've never seen someone lose it like that. You sure you're okay?" he asks. I nod, though I'm not. My arms sting where I scrape them, and my pride's in tatters. "I don't even have my phone," I say, realizing it's still in Todd's car, along with my keys. I can't call anyone. Jade frowns, pulling out her own phone. "You got a number we can dial? Family, friends?" she offers. I shake my head. I don't memorize numbers anymore, just rely on my contacts list. The only one I know by heart is my office, and I'm not about to call my boss to pick me up in pajamas from a construction site. "I could call a taxi," I suggest, but Rusty shakes his head. "Not dressed like that, darlin'. No driver's gonna take you without shoes or a wallet." He pauses, then nods to Jade. "We'll drive you. Where you headed?" "My mom's," I say, grateful but mortified. "It's about 5 miles from here." Rusty grabs a pair of spare work boots, huge, clunky things, and hands them to me. "Put these on. Ground's muddy out there." I slip them on, the leather stiff against my bare feet, and follow them to a beat-up van parked nearby. Rusty drives, Jade riding shotgun, and I sit in the back, staring out the window as the world blurs past. They chat lightly, trying to keep my mind off things. "So, you bake or something?" Jade asks, glancing back. "You look like the type who'd make killer cookies." "Sometimes," I say, managing a small smile. "I'll owe you guys a batch after this." Rusty laughs. "Deal. Just don't tell my wife. She'll think I'm flirting." His easy humor eases the knot in my chest, and by the time we pull up to Mom's house, I feel a little less broken. Mom answers the door, her gray hair pulled back in a messy bun, her eyes widening as she sees me, disheveled, in oversized boots, wrapped in a stranger's jacket. "Carrie? What happened?" she gasps. I burst into tears again, collapsing into her arms as Rusty and Jade explain. "She had a fight with her husband," Rusty says, keeping it vague. "He left her by the road. We just wanted to make sure she got here safe." Mom offers them coffee, but they wave it off, handing me the boots and jacket to return later. "Keep 'em for now," Jade says with a wink. "You've had a hell of a day." They leave, and Mom hustles me inside, fussing over me like I'm a kid again. I don't tell Mom the whole story, not yet. I say we argued on the way to McDonald's, that Todd ditched me. She doesn't push, just drives me home to grab some clothes and my spare key. Todd's been there already. My phone's on the kitchen table, buzzing with missed calls and texts from him. "Carrie, I'm so sorry," one reads. "I don't know what came over me. Some guy yelled nice pair and I just lost it. Please call me." I stare at the screen, my hands shaking. Lost it? He pushed me out of a moving car. My arms are bruised, my knees scabbed, and he thinks sorry fixes that? Over the next 5 days, he calls non-stop. I don't answer. My phone buzzes on the kitchen counter like an angry wasp, Todd's name flashing across the screen again and again. Each time it lights up, my stomach twists, a nauseating mix of dread and guilt. I mute it, but the silence doesn't help. My friends, well, our friends, start texting too. Some, like my old college roommate Jen, are blunt. "Leave his sorry ass, Carrie. You deserve better." Others, like Mark from that dinner night, hedge their bets. Maybe he just snapped. 10 years is a lot to walk away from. Talk to him. I'm torn, pacing my living room in circles, the hardwood creaking under my bare feet. 10 years is a long time to throw away, a decade of memories stacked like a shaky tower, our first apartment with the leaky faucet, the road trip to Nashville where we sang off-key to Springsteen, the quiet nights when he'd hold me and promise forever. But every time I close my eyes, those memories dissolve into the feel of his hands shoving me, The sting of gravel on my skin, his voice screaming slag like a gunshot in my ears. I keep looking at the photos I took of my injuries, purple marks blooming on my arms like ugly flowers, scabs crusting over my knees, and wonder what I'd tell someone else in my shoes. Run, I think. Don't look back. But it's harder when it's me. Bobby shows up that fifth night, his pickup truck rumbling into my driveway just as the sun dips below the trees. He's a bear of a man, broad-shouldered and stern, his buzz cut still sharp from his army days. He doesn't knock, just uses the spare key under the mat and barges in, finding me curled on the couch with a glass of wine I've barely touched. "Jesus, Carrie," he says, dropping his duffel bag by the door. His voice is rough, but his eyes soften when he sees me. "Mom called me. Said you've been a mess. What the hell happened?" I don't want to tell him. Bobby's temper is a lit fuse, but he sits beside me, his weight sinking the cushions, and I break. The story spills out, jagged and raw, Todd's idea, the flashing, the push, the road crew saving me. By the end, I'm crying again, and Bobby's face is a storm cloud. His fists balled so tight his knuckles go white. "That son of a bitch," he growls, standing up so fast the coffee table shakes. "I'm driving to his mom's right now. He's done." I grab his arm, my nails digging in. "Bobby, no, please, he's already out of the house. I need you here, not in jail." He glares at me, chest heaving, but finally nods, sitting back down with a grunt. "Fine, but I'm staying. He comes near you, I'll snap him like a twig." I don't argue. Having Bobby around feels like a shield, and I need one more than I'll admit. The next morning, I'm jolted awake by a knock at the door. Bobby's already up, frying eggs in the kitchen, his bat propped against the counter like a silent threat. I stumble over, peering through the peephole, and my heart sinks. It's Lisa, Todd's younger sister. She's 27, a hairdresser with a pixie cut and a nervous energy that always puts me on edge. We've never been close, she's too loyal to Todd, but she's here, shifting from foot to foot, clutching a plastic bag. "Carrie?" she calls, her voice muffled. "Can we talk?" I hesitate, but Bobby's behind me now, his presence a quiet warning. I open the door a crack. "What do you want, Lisa?" I ask, my tone flat. She bites her lip, holding up the bag. "Todd asked me to bring some of your stuff. He's a wreck, Carrie. He knows he screwed up." I glance at the bag, my favorite sweater, a pair of sneakers, my toothbrush. It's a pathetic peace offering, and it makes me want to scream. Bobby steps forward, towering over her. "He's a wreck?" he says, his voice low and dangerous. "He pushed her out of a damn car, kid. Tell him to shove his apologies where the sun don't shine." Lisa flinches, her eyes darting between us. "I'm not here to defend him," she says quickly. "I told him he's an idiot, but he's saying you're blowing this out of proportion, that you're making him the bad guy to everyone. I don't know what to believe." Her words hit me like a slap. Blowing it out of proportion? I yank the door open wider, showing her the bruises on my arms, the scabs on my knees. "Does this look like exaggeration to you?" I snap. Her face pales, and she takes a step back. "Oh my God," she whispers. He didn't tell me it was that bad." Bobby snorts, crossing his arms. "Yeah, he's real good at leaving out the parts where he's a monster. Get out of here, Lisa, and tell your brother if he sends anyone else, they're dealing with me." She nods, practically tripping over herself to leave, the bag still dangling from her hand as she hurries to her car. I slam the door, my hands shaking with rage. "He's turning people against me," I say, sinking onto the couch. Bobby hands me a plate of eggs, his jaw tight. "Let him try. Anyone who buys his crap isn't worth your time." I nod, but the doubt gnaws at me. What if they do believe him? That afternoon, I get a text from Carol, Mark's wife from the dinner that started this mess. "Carrie, can we meet? I feel awful about everything." I don't want to, but Bobby convinces me, says I need to know where people stand. We agree on a diner in town, a greasy spoon called Hank's with chipped mugs and sticky tables. Carol's already there when I arrive, her blonde hair pulled back, her hands twisting a napkin into knots. Bobby waits in the truck outside, his eyes on the door like a hawk. "I'm so sorry," she blurts as I sit down. "That night at our place, I didn't think Todd would take it seriously. Mark and I were just messing around, you know? I feel like this is our fault." Her eyes are red, like she's been crying, and I want to believe her. But there's a hitch in her voice that makes me wary. "It's not your fault he's an asshole," I say, sipping the weak coffee the waitress drops off. "But why are you really here, Carol?" She hesitates, then leans in, lowering her voice. "Todd's been calling us, saying you cheated, that he caught you with some guy and that's why he flipped out. Mark believes him, but I don't know, Carrie. It doesn't sound like you. My blood runs cold. Cheated? The lie's so absurd I almost laugh, but the anger chokes it down. He's lying, I say, my voice trembling. He begged me to flash those workers, then lost it when they cheered. He pushed me out of the car, Carol, left me there with nothing. You think I'd cheat on him? She stares at me, her mouth opening and closing like a fish. I didn't know, she says finally. He made it sound so different. God, what a jerk. I pull out my phone, showing her the photos of my bruises, the text from Todd admitting he asked me to do it. Her face crumples and she covers her mouth. I'm done with him, she says. Mark can stick by him if he wants, but I'm not playing this game. I nod, a small weight lifting. At least someone's on my side. The next day, I'm back at the road site with the cakes and tea. Rusty and Jade greet me like old friends, and there's a new guy with them, Pete, a lanky kid with a gap-toothed grin who wasn't there that day. He's hauling cones, his vest hanging loose on his skinny frame. Heard you're the one who gave us a show, he says, winking. Jade smacks his arm hard. Shut it, Pete. She's been through enough. He laughs, raising his hands in surrender, but I manage a smile. Rusty takes the cakes, slicing them up with a pocket knife. You're spoiling us, he says, handing me a piece. How you holding up? I shrug, the chocolate sticking to my fingers. Better, I guess. My brother's with me now. Todd's out of the house. Jade nods, her eyes flicking to the road. Good. Saw that truck of his drive by yesterday. Slow, like he was scoping the place. Gave me the creeps. My heart skips. Todd's been here? I glance at Rusty, who frowns. Didn't mention it because I wasn't sure it was him, he says. But yeah, gray Ford, right? Tinted windows? That's Todd's truck. A chill runs down my spine and I set the cake down, my appetite gone. I need to call the cops, I say, my voice small. Jade pulls out her phone. Use mine. We'll back you up. Me, Rusty, even Pete if he stops yapping. Pete grins, but his eyes are serious now. Saw the whole thing from the ridge, he says. Dude's unhinged. I'd testify if you need it. I take the phone, dialing Laura Brooks with shaky fingers. Laura meets me at the house an hour later, her badge glinting under the porch light. She's all business, her dark hair pulled tight, her notepad already out. Bobby's there, looming behind me, and I tell her everything. The flashing, the push, Todd's truck lurking. She scribbles fast, her lips pressed thin. Got enough for a restraining order, she says. Assault's trickier without a conviction, but the workers' statements help. I'll pull traffic cam footage too. Might catch that truck. She pauses, meeting my eyes. You're doing the right thing, Carrie. He's escalating. I nod, but the word escalating sticks in my throat. What's next? Him breaking in? Worse? That night, the cops arrest Todd at his mom's. Lisa calls me hysterical, begging me to drop it. He's sorry, Carrie. He's falling apart. I hang up, my hands cold. He's released on bail, ordered to stay away, but I don't feel safe. Bobby sleeps with the bat closer now, and I keep the lights on. A week later, I'm at Hank's again, sipping coffee alone, when a guy slides into my booth. Jake, a friend of Tracy's from the bar down the road. He's got a shy smile and a story that mirrors mine, ditched by his crew over a wedding, left to pick up the pieces. We talk for hours, and when his brother Mikey crashes in, all loud jokes and big gestures, I laugh until my sides ache. It's not over, not with Todd out there, not with the court dates looming, but for the first time I feel like I might make it through. Jake's got this quiet way about him, like he's been broken too but pieced himself back together, and it's comforting. He tells me about Greg and Shannon, how they forgot him, or maybe never wanted him, at their big NYC wedding, how he watched his so-called friends turn their backs one by one. I nod, tracing the rim of my mug, and tell him about Todd, the road, the bruises. We don't sugarcoat it. We just lay it out raw. Two strangers finding a thread of understanding in the mess. Mikey's a whirlwind, plopping down with a plate of fries he swiped from the counter, his grin wide and reckless. So, Carrie, you're telling me this Todd guy's still out there crying you cheated? What a loser. Jake, tell her about Dylan. That jerk's the same breed. Jake rolls his eyes but humors him, spinning a tale about Greg's best man, a loudmouth named Dylan who hated Jake for no reason and tanked his place in the group. I laugh, a real belly laugh, when Mikey mimics Dylan's swagger, nearly knocking over my coffee. It's silly, but it's the first time in weeks I don't feel like I'm drowning. You sticking around here? Jake asks later, his voice soft as Mikey heads to the jukebox, pumping quarters into it for some old rock tune. I shrug, the weight of everything settling back in. For now. Got a hearing next month. Todd's fighting the restraining order. Says I'm ruining his life. Jake snorts, leaning back. Sounds familiar. Greg tried that too. Guilt trips and all. Didn't work. You've got people now though, right? Your brother? Those road guys? I nod, thinking of Bobby's bat, Rusty's grin, Jade's fierce loyalty. It's not much, but it's something. The hearing creeps up faster than I expect. Bobby drives me to the courthouse, his knuckles white on the wheel, muttering about what he'll do if Todd steps out of line. Laura meets us there, her suit crisp, her eyes scanning the room like a hawk. Todd's across the hall, slouched beside a cheap lawyer in a wrinkled tie, his mom hovering behind him, whispering in his ear. He looks smaller somehow, his broad shoulders hunched, but when he catches my eye, there's a flash of that old anger, and my stomach flips. Lisa's there too, avoiding my gaze, her hands twisting a tissue into shreds. The judge is a stern woman with gray streaks in her hair, her voice cutting through the room like a blade. Laura lays it out. My statement, the workers' testimonies, the traffic cam showing Todd's truck speeding off with the door still open. Rusty and Jade are there, sitting stiffly in the back, Rusty tugging at his collar like it's choking him. Pete's with them, fidgeting, but he nods when Laura calls him up. Saw the whole thing, he says, voice steady. Guy shoved her out, nearly ran her over. Total nut job. Todd's lawyer tries to spin it, says I provoked him, that the flashing was my idea, but the judge isn't buying it. She grants the restraining order, permanent, and warns Todd one slip means jail. His face twists, a snarl breaking through, and he slams his fist on the table, earning a sharp gavel bang and a deputy's hand on his shoulder. Outside, Bobby claps my back, grinning. Told you he'd crash and burn. Laura pulls me aside, her tone low. He's on thin ice, Carrie. Stay sharp. Guys like him don't let go easy. I nod, the victory hollow. Todd's not done. I can feel it in my gut. 2 nights later, I'm home alone. Bobby's at a gig, when the doorbell rings. My heart jumps, and I peek through the blinds. It's Lisa, her hair wild, her eyes red. I crack the door, chain still on. What now? I ask, tired of her family's games. He's gone off the rails, she says, voice shaking. Mom kicked him out after the hearing, said he's a disgrace. He's been drinking, driving around. I think he's coming here. My blood runs cold. I grab my phone, dialing Bobby, but before he picks up, headlights flood the driveway. Todd's truck, engine growling. Lisa gasps, stepping back. I tried to warn you, she whispers, then bolts to her car, peeling out. Todd stumbles out, bottle in hand, his face a mask of rage. Carrie, he bellows, pounding the door. You think you can ruin me? I'll show you. The wood shakes under his fists, and I back away, fumbling for Laura's number. She answers on the second ring. He's here, I choke out, breaking the order. Lock yourself in. I'm 5 minutes out, she says, calm but urgent. I bolt the bedroom door, heart hammering, as glass shatters downstairs. He's thrown the bottle through a window. Footsteps thud on the stairs, heavy and uneven, and I clutch a lamp, my only weapon. The doorknob rattles, then stops. Sirens wail outside, red and blue lights flashing through the blinds. I hear Laura's voice, sharp and commanding. Todd Evans, hands up, now! There's a scuffle, curses, then silence. When I creep out, Todd's in cuffs, face down on the lawn, Laura barking orders to a deputy. Bobby screeches up, leaping from his truck, bat in hand, but Laura waves him off. We've got him, she says. Todd's eyes meet mine as they haul him up, wild and bloodshot, and he spits, This ain't over. But it is. I know it is. Weeks later, I'm at Hank's with Jake and Mikey, the air thick with fry grease and laughter. Todd's in jail, violated the order, plus a DUI charge that stuck. His lawyer's scrambling, but the judge isn't budging. Lisa's gone quiet, and Carol's cut ties with Mark over it, texting me apologies I don't need. I'm filing for divorce, papers sitting on my table, a weight lifting with each signature. Jake's telling me about his wedding plans with Lila, small and simple, just Tracy and Mikey and a few others. You should come, he says, half serious. Mikey jumps in. Yeah, bring those road guys. Rusty'd kill at the open bar. I laugh, picturing it, and for once the future doesn't scare me. I'm not whole yet. Nights still echo with Todd's voice, and trust feels like a cracked glass I'm afraid to fill. But sitting here with Jake's quiet strength and Mikey's chaos, I see a path forward. Todd's rotting in a cell, his life unraveling thread by thread while I'm picking up mine, stitch by messy stitch. Life's a brutal teacher. Trust too easy and you bleed. Hold too tight and you break. I've learned it the hard way, but I'm still here, still breathing. So, what do you think? Ever been burned like that? By a friend, a lover, a lie? Drop it below, because I'm starting to think we've all got a story, and maybe sharing it's how we heal.